Right. Try to time to knuckle down and do a very big long build. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be building up the Wraith Guard. To do this as simply as possible, I am going to start off by kind of putting core things together, like the heads. From there, we need to construct the bodies and then the legs and so on. So it's quite a lot of stages that I need to go through to get this done. So let's start off with the fact that you can pretty much get out all of these heads. Now, they are this simple. They are all numbered 1 and 2. Like so. Now, what we need to do is, along with a hell of a process of cleaning these up, which God, they're definitely not an easy clean up, these ones, I can tell you that. Could end up knackering my finger. So number 1 and number 2. You know what, this is a sharp piece. Here we go. Right. Now, frustratingly, I do have to actually build 5 of these things. Now, what I'm going to do is not build every single one of them like I normally do live. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of use a little bit of magical editing. Oh, now my glue doesn't want to flow. Fingers have decided to be useless today. Right. Okay. So that is how simple to put one of them together is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a really cool thing. I'm just going to do some magical editing, snap my fingers, and then... Right, and there we go. So that's it, really. Those heads are that simple, and we just put them together. And then what we've got to do then is we've got to put together our bodies. Now, what you can do is you've got basically the back of the body, I think it is, and that goes from 8 all the way up to 12. So I'm just going to pop number 11 out just quickly. And what you can do is you can combine them with any of the front bodies, which is 13 to 17. So just because it's nearby, I'm going to use 16. Like so. And then what we do again is we combine them with any rear fins. So let me find a fin. There's going to be one around here somewhere. I have to go to a different sprue for that. Come on, where are you? There we go. So numbers 19 all the way up to 23. These have got some horrible sharp bits on them, these. Careful with that, it's very easy to snap that. I've just realised I was putting my weight, putting my weight on that part there, and I could feel it breaking. Oh, the positions of the mould injection on these as well is not good. You've got to be careful with pretty much anything, Eldari, because you've got to support it as you clean it up, otherwise slight flick and you broke something off. Make sure that's nicely cleaned up. Okay, and then I'm gonna pop this together. Better dry fit it actually, because I suspect this is going to be a bit weird to put together. Alright, let me have a look here. So, oh, actually, do you know what? I assumed this was the back, and it might not be. It might actually be the kind of like the head. Yeah, it is. It's actually what it's the neck joint. This. Assumed for a second it was the back, but it's not. It's the neck joint. Okay. Now. Oh, there's another. Right, hang on a second. This is where I'm trying to wonder here. Because there's a back part. So let me have a look. So this is what I don't like sometimes. There's these kind of like little bits. Here we go. Right, so for every single front, so I've taken number 16, there is a matching number 18 to it. So whichever piece you get out, grab the number 18 that goes alongside it. So now let's get this popping together. It feels very strange, this actually, because like looking at how it sits. Oh, right. So here's the thing. There's like a because the mold injection point is like there on this. Yeah, I think what I've done is I haven't tidied it up enough. Here. Yeah. Right there is where the mold injects in. And I just haven't tidied it up anywhere well enough. Try that again, shall I? See if I can do it right this time. There we go. So yeah, just make sure that you tidy that up appropriately so it goes together, because if you don't, it's going to split. And following on from that, make sure you get some good glue along to hold it in place after as well. Because if you don't, that will definitely split open. To even tidy it up, it doesn't really want to like go together well. Don't like the join on that body, it's horrible. It is a terrible join. But there we go, it is gone in. Right, then you can put this fin on the back. Like so. And what you can do is basically plan to put that on. However, I wouldn't glue that on anytime soon because you want the head to actually be turned to look like it's in action. So you leave that off for now. What I will do, however, is basically I will do the same again, but for the other four, sorry. So all you do is you pick a body, say 15, it goes onto the 18. You get yourself a head neck joint, so it's 12, and then one of the fins at the back, say 23. Put them together. So I'm going to do that now, but I'm not going to record myself doing the same thing 4 more times. So, and there we go. That is our 5 bodies all nicely done. And as you can see, they all just go together in the same way. So I'm not going to put the heads on yet because I want to make sure that they're facing the action, so to speak. What we have to do though is start putting our legs together. Now this is where it becomes a bit of a process, but every single set of legs goes together in exactly the same way. So basically you'll have something like this. You will have a, say, 37, 38, and then kind of meeting in the middle, it'll have something like number 28, and that's it. That's how simple this is. It's just 2 legs and a kind of hips. And then what you do then is you put a loincloth in front of it. So I believe the loincloth for this one is down as 41. I bet it's in some random place that's hard to find. I bet it's even on a different sprue just to be difficult. Yeah, over here. So all you do is get a set of legs out. Now I'm not going to be brave and work out if the legs are swappable, but looking at the positions of them, the way that the connectors are, I'm not going to deny it kind of gives me the distinct impression that you probably could do, and potentially with the loincloths, it suggests in the instructions that they go on specific leg combinations. But I wouldn't be surprised if you could do a bit of mix and matching, but the instructions don't say that's the case. So personally, I'm not going to risk it. I don't fancy going out of my way to do a ton of conversions, to be quite blatant about it. There's no other way to put it. But it does seem that these are quite an easy build by the look of it. And just make sure that you tidy up these joints. Okay, so leg joints going together, just make sure that you are getting them in the right place, that they're kind of effectively, when you put them together, you should find come on, you should find that they fit quite neatly on a base. They should feel like if there's a flat part, it should be on the base. If there's not a flat part, then it might be raised up or, you know, on its tiptoes or something. So just kind of keep an eye on for that. If you want to be confident that it's in the right position, just try and get it attached to a base straight away, and you'll find if you've done the leg right, if you've done its positioning right. Now sometimes it's easier to leave these things off and attach them later for painting purposes. That is a judgment call on your part. It's whatever you want to do, really. I am going to put mine on now. Now I've got to work out how that fits. You should find that when you slide it over, it should find a natural fitting point. There we go. That is our legs. And I'm going to give that an opportunity to dry. And obviously I've got the other 4 to build, but they're built in exactly the same method. But I'm just going to give that an opportunity to kind of set for a second. And then I'm going to go away and... Right, so there is our nice combination of legs. So as you can see, they just kind of pop together. Made a mistake actually on this first one. I put this hip back to front. So basically there's this little shield here. It should be facing forward, so don't make that mistake. Corrected it, but yeah, don't repeat my mistake if you can help it. Right, okay. Moving on now. I think it's time to actually load these guys out with some weapons. Now, I am looking about doing the Wraithblades. Now, the difference between the Wraithlord and the Wraithblades is they have hand-to-hand weapons. And what you've got to basically do is you've got to get the correct combination of arms and swords going together. So I'm having to kind of look up the instructions, because if you're doing the axe, you've got to kind of put these... I'm trying to think of a good way to describe these things, kind of like arm blades on. Looking how you do that. So I think let's take this arm combination first. Just move these bases out of the way a second. Let's take arm 97 here. And then you've got a Wraithblade, one of these wrist blades, 98. I'm making a kind of assertion here that that combination is how you do it. So if you find like an arm blade with a particular number, there's a good chance it kind of matches up to one of these arms. And then what it does is just kind of, in fact I am right about that, it just kind of pops in like so. Because I think they will look really cool with the actual axe and the arm blade combination. When I originally looked at doing this, I assumed that it was axe and sword or 2 swords, and then I went away and looked for the instructions online, and it turns out that it's that combination there, which I really like. Now, if I get the number 66 out as well here, I'm going to assume then I can go and grab one of these axes. So I'm going to go grab 68. Tidy up this blade a bit as well. Come on. Find anything that's not quite right. get the hand attached to here, like so. And then you'll see, now I'm 100% convinced that this here, this number 3, which was next to the wrist blade, I'm probably wrong about this, but let's have a look, see if I end up right. It just feels like, let's see if I've got this right. If it doesn't look right, I'll go away and go and quickly look on the instructions again. I thought I saw something like this attached into one of these. No, it doesn't seem to fit. No, I think I've misread that instruction. Just give me a second. I'm going to go double check I've got that one right. No, I've just checked the instructions. It definitely, these things definitely do go onto the arms. I'm just trying to work out how. Because it definitely looks like it slots in. What it might be is certain ones of these only fit particular arms. And what I might have to do is kind of go away and play around and see which arms they comfortably slot into. But it definitely feels like they attach, because I'm looking at the instructions and it's very clear that those things go in. This is going to be me now getting very aggravated with this piece of plastic for refusing to do what it should very clearly do. See, I'm annoyed with it now because it's not doing it. As I said, it's very clear that it goes. It just definitely seems like it goes on. I'm just trying to work out which position to put it in. And then once I've worked that out, I will be a happy man. See, this is why it's always a pain when I don't have instructions in front of me. There is a bit that fits in there, but it ain't that piece. This piece goes here. It's basically the head style. You know, some days I amaze myself about how daft I am. That's why it doesn't fit in the arm. What fits in the arm is these little tiny pieces here. So you've got them like 90, 91. And all you need to do with them is pop one out. I do love it when I've been in such a hurry to get things done. I've kind of had a cursory look at the alternative instructions, and I've looked but not seen, for want of a better word. Right. Okay, now we can get on to actually building a full one. So what we have to do is we have to think about kind of arm pose, body pose, and so on, and just make sure that we feel like it's doing what we want it to do. So there'll be a little bit of wiggle room freedom, but not huge amounts. And what you want to do, you just want to make sure that when you pop these in, you feel like it's, as dynamic as possible. Feels like it's really moving. really sort of part of the battle, like so. Now, I do believe that is now completed. So this is a Wraithblade, unlike a Wraithguard which has the gun, and as I said, I really want to go for a melee focus craft world. Now, of course, I've got the other ones to build, but I'll be building them in the same basic way now. So first things first, let me get the actual bodies on. Come on. One thing that I have noticed is because of the mold line there, you got to make sure that that's properly cleaned up or it's not going to sit on. And then from there, you're just going to basically finish putting your arms. All the different legs, and then positioning the heads, which you're just going to have to kind of have a good look and see, you know. As I said, make a decision about how you want the body's positioning, how you want the arms positioning, and you will be done finishing it up in no time. I definitely am going to finish my Wraithblades all with axes and these things, but all you really need to do to finish it off, basically just make sure that you're looking over the sprue correctly. So for these Wraithblades, make sure that you're getting this kind of arm for one arm, one of these ones for the other arm for the axe, and then you put that little cut off there into each one of those. Make sure that you put the little fin on the back on each head, and you are done. So there we go, that is how you build up the Wraithblades. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, see you for the next video.